What is the fastest you have ever seen a new coworker get fired? During their onboarding training, they stole my boss's wallet on camera, 1 hour in. New guy drove a forklift into a fire hydrant in front of a safety rep for the company. His supervisor was called over, and he immediately tells his supervisor that he won't pass a piss test as he used his only bottle of clean piss earlier that day when he hired in. Everybody standing there immediately burst into laughter, which continued as security, also laughing, escorted him off-site. Even the supervisor was all smiles, just gave him a pat on the back, and wished him the best of luck. It was wild. A week. I worked in a bar and a new girl started. At work, she seemed a little rough but was fine. One day she finished a shift, sat at the bar, and ordered a red wine with lemonade and ice in it. Not really relevant to the story, just shows she is clearly insane. Her boyfriend came in. They had a huge domestic in front of my manager and several customers, and she threw her drink over her BF and dramatically stormed out. New bar drink. Wine plus lemonade equals a domestic. Don't forget it's on the rocks, just like the relationship. Worked at a steel processing plant, polishing, cut to length, etc. Everyone started off as temps, some 4 years, before getting hired in. Management decided they were short-staffed and the solution was to start hiring people full-time off the street. So this dude starts, full-time on day 1, for benefits, more money, getting trained by temps who've been there for months, if not years. Everyone is mad resentful of this dude, obviously. Halfway through his second day he gets escorted out for testing positive for coke on his drug test. Coke stays in your system for like 2 to 3 days. They didn't hire any more dudes full time off the street. Heard this from a manager I worked with when I worked in fast food. There was this one kid who didn't show up for work. He ditched work often, so the manager called around, couldn't get anyone to fill in his shift, so she had to fill it for him. A few hours into his shift, the dude ditching shows up with his friends and orders food from that manager. She fired him on the spot. Congratulations, you've been promoted to a customer. Did he get his order though? First day of work, he walks in, says what the flip-flop is up Dumbus, to the guy that parked next to didn't touch his new Camaro he bought since he got hired. The guy was the CEO of the company I used to work for, on visit to our branch. Literally 10 minutes into his shift he was signing release papers. I want to see the interest rate for a first day of work loan. I work construction. We had 2 new hires that were friends starting the same day. Boss told one take a coffee order and come back. Took everyone's money and said he needed his friend to go with him cause it was a big order. They never came back. Guy got hired, while going through orientation realized that his ex-girlfriend worked there too. Turned around and walked right out the front door. My man, looking good. Baker Street starts playing. This was a while ago at my old job. New guy gets hired as a busboy. He was super annoying and tried to insert himself into everyone's conversation, whether they wanted him there or not. It only took a couple of hours for the whole restaurant to hate him. I was working the bar, and he kept eating the bar fruit. I personally didn't care, but the manager did. Manager comes over and tells him to stop eating the fruit. He looks the manager in the eye and eats another piece of fruit. Manager says really, followed by come with me to the office. New guy promptly replies with alright man, calm down. I can tell you got that big PP energy for a good reason, followed with cliche wink and nudge from his elbow. In front of me and like 4 other employees. I wanted to slam my face into the ice bin, it was so cringy to witness. He promptly walked out the front door 10 minutes later without his uniform on anymore. The worst thing about it was the manager was an insanely laid back guy. Hell, the whole restaurant was insanely laid back. You really had to try hard to get fired from this place. Had he not thrown in that big PP line, I'm almost positive he would have just gotten a slap on the wrist and kept the job. Worked in a grocery store for a while. New guy took a lobster out of the tank and removed the elastic bands on its claws, then proceeded to put it back in the tank. The thing murdered all the other lobsters in the tank. I was halfway expecting a theft attempt by putting said live and free lobster down his pants. I thought he was gonna chase co-workers with it. Not gonna lie, I'd find that funny. A 19-year-old kid got hired to work the seafood counter. See him twice and then never again. Asked a co-worker what happened. He had closed seafood one night and was walking out of the store and the 5 pounds of crab legs he'd stuffed down the back of his pants fell out in front of the closing manager. Co-worker quit his job. Great job, great pay, great benefits to work in a radio repair place. I mean, gotta do what you love, and he was also a big radio enthusiast. Got fired the first day on the job for stealing parts for his own radios at home. Took him over a year to get back with us. Surprised they rehired him. He then got fired for being a security risk about a year or so later. Christ, he could have just asked if he could rummage through the e-waste bins. Most places are fine with that shit growing legs. I can tell you about a time I fired someone within 5 minutes. Guy was a rehire in the restaurant. Had a bar and drinking problem. As in, got put into a hospice because he was dying. Of course he had to stop drinking, so he got better. Went to detox and rehab, and I heard he cleaned up. Second chances, right? I hired him back, and on his first day within the first 5 minutes I could tell this guy was obliterated drunk. Fired him again. Thank you for watching. Subscribe or Niji will haunt you tonight.